Hey everyone, it's a patient hodler coming at you with another quick market update for the crypto Ethereum altcoin market. And this time the question is, are we going to stay in Ethereum or could we consider rolling profits into altcoins? There are two different strategies, one very risky, one a little bit less risky, one stressful, one a little bit less stressful, and so on. So we are going to discuss both strategies here. But before we do, please smash up the like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below which strategy you are following, and maybe I have not considered that one. Also, please note, this is not financial advice in any way. I'm not doing any financial consultation here. I'm just giving my opinion and also what I am doing. So let's jump right into it. So what we're seeing here is Ethereum is now breaking out. We are on the monthly chart, so on this channel we are always looking at a little bit higher time frames, but we see, okay, we approach the all-time high, we get rejected here. So what does that mean? We have not, some people argue we have not even passed the all-time high, so why should we consider selling here Ethereum, right? And there is certainly a point to it. We're looking Ethereum against USDT, against fiat currency, against the US dollar. And we do see, okay, we had a bull cross here on the RSI. We are not overheated in any way on, stochastic RSI. We are not overheated anyway on the RSI. We are just about to put a bull cross on the TSI on a monthly. So everything looks like Ethereum is going to go more. And even the breakout target says, okay, probably we are going to go to 7,000 for Ethereum and maybe beyond, right? So why then should we go up? And that's a legitimate question, right? And that also poises to where we are looking in terms of strategy. Another look is Ethereum against BTC. And we do see that all the time it would have been better to be in BTC than in Ethereum. And then here, basically at the lowest point, it would have been better to roll all Bitcoin into Ethereum. But who would actually know that, right? Only if you pay close attention to this chart and actually look for doing that strategy. But actually that is the strategy that we can consider now if we have enough risk profile. But there are severe risks to it, severe risk to lose all of your profits that you already have. So one strategy would be to say, okay, we're not overheated in any way. We just stay in ETH. We maximize our gains against USDT. Now, if you look that Ethereum has put in already from this very weak low to right now a rough 3.5x. The question is, at $4,500 per Ethereum, how much money is needed to double your gains in Ethereum, right? So it's basically the entire Ethereum market cap, which is, if we're looking here for Ethereum at second place, we can look it up and we do see that right now it's $550 billion in market cap. And obviously that means we need another $500 billion to double our gains here. So the logical thought would be, hey, can we roll it into something that has a way lower market cap and is outperforming, and is this a good timing now to do so, right? Okay, so let's talk about, is it a good timing or not, right? And what I did is I took Ethereum market cap dominance over the entire crypto market, and we do see we are on the way upwards, whereas the altcoins are just coming out of a massive low here. And if you would put in somewhat, something like this here, you see, okay, it's not really much confluence, but we do see that there's an uptick in the altcoins. That doesn't mean we can't go like this and then up, right? But there could be an argument to be made to say, hey, if we're here with ETH and we did outperform, now we could roll down into the other altcoins, right? Question is which altcoins, but the argument could be made. The argument could also be made to wait a little longer and then roll. No one knows when the correct timing is. Now, that would suppose that there is an altcoin season coming, otherwise you would just roll it into multiple dead coins and lose all your money, right? So is there an argument to be made that altcoins are coming? Yes, there is, because if you're looking at the CME watch tool from the Fed, you see that there is a 92% chance that at the moment rated that in 31 days and 8 hours from making this video, the Fed is going to cut rates, and that would put investors to go more risky in their investments by the book, so to say, and as rates are coming down. So many people are expecting that the lowering of the rates is going to cause this altcoin bull run. And we already see it right now that they are reacting, because the market tends to price things in before the fact. So there could be a rally coming just out of that. Now, what we have to see is also, where are we in the cycle, right? It's good to be in Bitcoin when there's Bitcoin phase, good to be in Ethereum when there's Ethereum phase, and then it's good to be in large caps when there's a large cap phase, and good to be in everything, in every degenerate shitcoin for a very brief period of time when we are in phase 4 in the altcoin season. And then it is a good time to be in NFTs when this is ending and phase 5 is not displayed here, would be basically NFT degeneracy, right? That may or may not come, but we are talking about that in another video or in the live streams, right? So what we need to see is, are we really in this phase? So let's see the definition of this phase. The overlap phase was money flows into Ethereum, but it struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin and starts outperforming it. If we are looking back to Ethereum against Bitcoin, we can see that phase was basically just for a brief time here, this overlap. This was the Bitcoin phase, and then this is the overlap phase where it goes back and forth. This is a weekly chart, so it was like 3-4 weeks, and then it came up and then back and forth again. So maybe that all was the overlap phase, but now it's clearly outperforming Bitcoin. And according to the chart pattern, we are halfway there in this Ethereum outperformance, right? So, but it doesn't mean necessarily that that this is not the best time to go into other altcoins, right? So let's look more. So, and then phase 2, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flippening. So now you could say, hey, but patient hodler, it's outperforming, but no one is talking about the flippening. That's actually not true. Look at what's happening. So in the past 30 days, BlackRock has accumulated 15x faster the Ethereum than BTC. So it's clearly BlackRock is betting now on Ethereum as the whole market, as we see it in these charts. And we see companies like Tom Lee's BitMine already controlling 1% of all Ethereum of the circulating supply. And then who's talking about the flippening? Well, while Ethereum now has its best quarter in history, which basically says, okay, we are definitely in Ethereum season, we have this guy coming out and saying the following. Check this out.
For ETH is actually higher than, let's say, Bitcoin did 100x. You know, could Ethereum do 100x? I think that could happen because there is probably a significant probability that Ethereum could flip Bitcoin as well in terms of network value. Well, I think the near-term price people should think about is Ethereum getting to 4,000. Because Ethereum is a better story than it was in December, and it was 4,000 in December. For ETH is actually...
So as you can hear from Tom Lee here, he says Ethereum could 100x, Ethereum could flip Bitcoin, so it's already out there in social media, and many people are right now listening to it. And obviously, if you're in Ethereum, it feels really good to hear after Ethereum did a 3.5x and is back at all-time high, that it could do 100x from here. I want to raise big caution regarding that, because obviously in a bull run, everything that has already pumped 10x, everyone says it could do another 100x and so on. This is how the hype and the delusion is created, right? And talks about the flippening, check, right? So if we're looking at our path to altcoin season, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks about the flippening, check, right? So what we do expect now is money is starting to trickle into large caps, where we see large buy-ups happening. I don't know if we are there yet, but what we see is that altcoins on the week, for example, you have OKB 162% on the weekly. Other than that, the altcoins, some altcoins like ADA are already moving. Maybe this is coming next, but I think there could be a valid strategy to say, okay, let's front run this and find altcoins that have not pumped yet. Now, let's talk about the risks of both of these strategies, right? Because if you're looking to maximize in terms of USDT, then probably I would say you can't stay in ETH and just look at maybe getting $7,000 or $6,000 per one ETH, and then you're good to go with selling, right? You have to also see that, for example, here in Germany, you have tax-free gain if you hold more than a year. So if you're flipping from one to another, you are back in this below 1 year where massive tax applies to the gains. It's still gains, but you need to see if it's worth it. If you're, for example, here in Germany, maybe in your country there's something like that as well, right? So you have to be really careful with the taxing. Also, if you're being taxed in general, then and you sell your Ethereum, for example, you're being taxed, and then you roll what's left over in an altcoin and it dies. It's really just a lot of work for nothing, right? So this needs to be, I think the strategy to sleep well is, hey, in every coin and where I am, I'm just going to see if I can make a good exit and nice profit, and don't roll from Ethereum into the next coin, into the next coin, into the next coin, right? But if you are more risk inclined to take the risks, then this could be a viable strategy where saying, hey, altcoins are really low. Ethereum, I've already made a nice profit, because everyone basically is either break even or in profit right now, as Ethereum is close to its all-time high. Only if you bought the massive absolute top, then you might be still a little bit further away. But I think, and exactly considering the strategy, many traders are considering this strategy, which is how this chart is going to explode over the time, right? As we're following this path to altcoin season, and then we would see that Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, and large caps are going parabolic. This is definitely not here yet. So I think we are in phase 2 Ethereum. We're going into this overlap phase right now, where XRP and ADA and Chainlink and these large caps are going to pump, and then they are going para. That's phase 3, and then it's time for altcoins with strong fundamentals, plus probably some meme coins this time, and then everything pumps left and right. But we are not there yet. But I think it is a very short time, very short window, and we need to put the glasses on top, where we say, okay, how can, like, the selling glass? I think the time for buying, in the sense, just buying and accumulating, is almost over, or maybe already over. We need to put the glass on how and where can I sell now, right? And if I look at the Ethereum and I see these indicators, I would say just looking at Ethereum against the USDT, not strategy 2, looking at this and looking at others' dominance here. I'd say there is an argument to be made. And if you look at individual altcoins against BTC, so for example, if I say VET against BTC, for example, VeChain against BTC, you see that they are, this is out of whack because of the of log scale versus non-log scale. You see that there is a time in an alt season where these coins absolutely outperform BTC. And the same chart looks the same probably against ETH. We can look it up in a second. But you see it gets wrecked, absolutely wrecked against BTC. And only now it seems to be bottoming, seems to be coming out of the slump here. So many altcoins look like this. Let's see how it looks against ETH, VeChain against Ethereum. And you can make this forever also here, right? So you would say, if I roll from ETH into the absolute low, and let's put Ethereum USDT here as a comparison, that one second, that looks ETH USDT, that looks exactly what you want, right? So you are massive in the highs, and your new coin, wherever you want to roll it in, is at all-time lows against ETH, right? So you basically coming from here, and you're putting your money into the all-time lows. That would be the degenerate strategy. It's very risky. It could be that such coin never comes back. So the coin that you're choosing is obviously also crucial. It cannot be every coin. It has to be a coin with strong community, strong financials, and so on, strong fundamentals. But that more or less is a strategy, and you can look these up on TradingView yourself. So let me know in the comments below what you think is the right strategy here. Are you going to the safe, less return route, or are you going to try to flip down the path of alt season? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, and wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and I catch you in the next video or live stream. Bye bye.